Welcome back to another episode of RunYogi Diaries. This is your host, Santosh Shiva. Every week, I bring you conversations with people who are on a journey of well-being and fitness through endurance sports. My attempt is to also bring diverse set of people who are very accomplished to people who are just starting off. With that in mind, we have the monthly Listener Spotlight episode. Today's is one such. Our guest has been running regularly for the last 2 years, and early last year, she finished her first full marathon. She's also a Zumba instructor. Her story could be very familiar with a lot of women who deal with transitions in middle of their life with regards to marriage, family, careers, and yet have to manage self-care. She exudes energy, positivity, and enthusiasm. And behind that is someone who has battle scar wounds of something that she had to deal with in her own personal journey. She's been generous to share her story, so possibly it can help others who are stuck in a similar funk. Let's welcome Lavanya Chandrasekharan. If you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing to it. And if you like this video, please hit like, leave your comments below. Let us know if you took something away. Let's dig in. Right. Hey, Lavanya, welcome to RunYogi Diaries.
Hi, Santosh. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, that's a breakthrough. She's so used to calling everyone G, and she actually referred to me as...
This is really hard for me, so...
There's always a beginning.
Okay.
All right. Hey, Lavanya, first of all, thanks for joining the show. And there's a part of the series that I started called the Listener Spotlight. And,
Correct.
You've been a supporter of this podcast and also someone who's on a journey of fitness.
Right.
So I thought it would be great to talk about your journey, what got you started into
Absolutely.
fitness.
Yes.
And recently, last year, you also finished your first marathon.
Correct.
So we're going to talk about all of that, right?
Okay.
So before that, let me have you do a quick personal introduction and then we'll kind of jump in.
Okay. Hi, my name is Lavanya, and in American way, it's Lavanya. And I live in the Woodlands. I have 2 kids and married and whatnot. Everything that a girl should be doing. Yes.
What is that?
That is everything.
Okay.
We do everything, right?
Women power.
Woman power. Yeah.
All right. No, terrific. You're someone I know as extremely enthusiastic, high energy, and at the same time, you have a backstory that you had to deal with obstacles and
Right.
personal, debacles before you got here.
Correct.
And I think that's a great inspiration for a lot of people who may be struggling in the same space.
That is true.
So let's start with, where it all began. How did fitness start for you? Let's hear about that.
Okay. Fitness was always there. As a kid, we used to bicycle a lot to school, to friends' house, and meetups, plays, and all that stuff. So fitness was it was not like maybe a serious fitness, but it was like a fun fitness. Like you were bicycling, you're running, like playing tag, and you're just having fun. But it's a way of getting out and having, getting your workout done. That's how we call it in an adult term. But as kids, I think it was like a very active phase, like bicycling, playing shuttle. That was very famous in India. At that time, I'm not sure about now, but those days, shuttle was very famous. So, and my best friend was a runner.
When you were a kid?
Yes, when I was a kid, my best friend was a hardcore runner. So I would whenever she gets a chance to go and practice, I would go visit her, and then I'll watch all the runners run. But for me personally, it never should I be doing that? No, I was not. I was like, I'll just watch her. I'll cheer her. I think that was always in there. But for me, to cheer, I think that cheer part was always there. So I would just go with her, and sometimes one good thing is when she goes, she doesn't have to take classes, in school. So I'll be like, okay, if I go along with her, I don't have to sit in the class, So they'll come and they'll be like, hey, person's in the sports meet, come on. And then she would go, and I'm like, okay, I'm going with her because she needs help. And I'll just, go. So that was how it was. It was just like a fun thing, but I was never.
Yeah.
I think I was never a very serious person about.
So you moved to the US when you were what,
In my
sixth grade?
oh no, I was a like a teen adult,
Oh,
close
really?
to. So I didn't do many of my years of schooling here.
So this was what grade did you move? You
Um,
said early teens, but what?
Early adult teen, so 16.
So you was 11th
And
grade?
yes, 10th
High school. Okay.
high school.
So you moved to the US into high school. So that
Right.
must have been a big change.
Yes, I didn't want to move here. I was the day when we went to, when we have to go to a consulate to get our visas, and the day I prayed, I didn't want to,
Didn't
I
want to
should be rejected. I, I should
Not
be
not
rejected.
everybody wants the American dream.
I should get rejected, and I should not, I shouldn't get approved. And I didn't want to come here because I had like, friends. I had fun there, and I had a life, like a teen life going on. So I didn't want to miss that,
Yeah, yeah.
and I didn't want to come. So, and I still remember my grandma. She called me and she said, "You know what? I've, like, struggled a lot, and in my life, and it'll be great. My life would be content." She's not here anymore, but she said my life would be content if you come here, because I literally didn't want to come here, and she convinced me, and I was like, "Okay, I'll come, but if I don't like it, I'm gonna go back." That's what I said. When I came, I said, I'm going to go back. If I don't like it, I'm going to go back.
That makes so yeah. I mean that is a big change, right? To move to another country, in the middle of high school. I mean, a lot of people move to US for their higher education, and by then you're ready. You're choosing to do that.
Yeah.
So you moved to US when you were in 10th grade, and what happened to your active lifestyle? Did
It
that
was
change?
zero,
So
because
you went from an active childhood, just
yeah, just like the basic fun childhood to
Yeah.
coming to a place where I found, when I came to when I did my schooling, I couldn't differentiate a difference between the teacher and the student. I saw a student who was pregnant. That was like never happened way back home. That was very different. And then I had a hard time making friends, and because I was like almost like, getting turning and going to be an adult, and everyone had their group. They had, some had friends, some didn't want friends, and some was like, okay, I'll take whoever I want to be my friend. So I was like, which direction do I go? Like, they were already, everyone had a life except me. I felt like that at that
so
time.
how did it impact you in terms of physical fitness? I mean, did it?
And then
Did you? How did it impact you that?
we would just, like, go to the gym and stuff like that. I would become a member, like, because we had student discounts, and get to know kids. That's how we hanged out together, get to know friends who from different schools, and then later on, when I did college, get to know kids from college, and we hanged out there. But there was not, it was just about going to the gym and having fun.
Yeah.
Not like, okay, I want to do this to my body, or
So
look
it was
this
more of a
way.
social,
It was more like a social
get-together.
get together.
But you were still being active, right?
I was
Yeah.
just, I was being active because I wanted to go meet them. I wanted to make friends.
Yeah.
And so I thought if I went there, I would meet friends, and I would,
So that's not a bad thing.
yeah. And in the end, now that I'm older, I think, you know what? I got two things done. I had friends,
Yeah.
and I got my workout.
Yeah.
So
That makes sense. Yeah.
So we used to work out together and stuff like that. It was that a life that a very typical teenager and turning into an adult life,
Yeah.
that was there, still having fun, working out.
Yeah.
Then that time the workout was not considered a huge thing, but having fun was. But now when you sit back and think, it's like, okay.
So you've always had an active lifestyle.
Yeah.
You so that's great. So because it seems like almost you've used being active, and when you came to the US, you went to the gym. So you just use that in a positive way.
Right.
And it's helped you to make new friends, even in coming to an alien environment in the middle
Yes.
of your teen years. Terrific. Then what happens? What happened? What about your fitness in the adult life?
In adult life,
When did you get started?
when I got married in 2007, and I mean, I was still working out. My husband was working out, and we were very active. Not that like a serious active, going to the gym and getting. But my husband was very, like, serious about going to the gym and getting his workout done. So looking at him, I would follow him too. When he says, okay, I'm going off to the gym, I don't want to text him back saying that, okay, I'm going home and what, I'm going to go watch a movie, because that time we didn't have kids. We were just married recently. And then I'll be like, oh, okay, then I'm going to the gym too. So I would go with him, and well, we would just work out together and stuff. But it was not a serious thing. Again, it was never serious till a point in 2008 where I was stuck down with infertility. We were trying to have kids and we couldn't have kids. And it was a very emotional journey. A emotional journey where you cannot explain with words. It was very different. I'm sure it's different for person to person, but for me, I felt it hit me very hard, because raised from a background like where the culture was so rich. And I mean, you grown seeing people. Okay, and when you turn before 25, you need to get married. After 25, you can't. I mean, you're too old to get married.
It's like preset.
It was. I'm talking about in
templates.
like the 90s and 2000s.
It's there even today. It's not gone. I mean, if you're coming from a culture that's very old, there are a lot of old ways
Traditions
of doing
and yes,
templates of life, right?
True.
So by this time you do this, by this
Yes.
age you do that,
and you're taught that, and that in schools you're taught that, in homes you're taught that you have to finish your high school. In America, when I came here, there was a kid that he was like 21 or something, and he was still in high school, and I'm like, what are you doing here, like, and then he said, well, I dropped out, and then I wanted to get my education. And when I went, I was like so surprised, and he came back to school, and I found out, and in college when you go, you meet a variety of age group people, from a fresher to maybe 60,
Right.
so you don't have a set of friends that's only, oh, you know what, I'm 20, you're 20, the gang is 20. It was never like that. So
coming back, I mean,
yeah,
like,
okay, let's go back to
I think we were talking about
the
whole,
infertility
and how that there were expectations again about that
yeah,
in certain cultures, especially in the Eastern cultures.
right,
There are templates for every phase of
age
life,
limits,
right?
and phase of life,
every phase of life. So if you're married, you need to have kids.
Yes.
And if you don't have kids,
it is a problem.
It's a problem, as in people are looking at you and judging you,
and it's very shameful.
Yeah.
Because you're talked around everywhere.
Like you're not good enough.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
And that time it did matter, when that time I was young, and at that time it mattered to me when people talked about me and they looked at me in a very shameful way. It really mattered.
Well, even if they were not, for you internally.
Yes, maybe they were
feeling
not.
good.
Maybe they really were not judging me, but I
You felt
was,
it, yeah.
I felt it.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe what I was not. When I went coming back to the infertility, it was undiagnosed infertility. So the doctors just bluntly told me to lose weight.
Mhm.
So that's like when the 2008 was like, going to the gym, hitting it really hard. At that time, Zumba didn't happen.
So how do you gain weight in this process?
Yes, I did gain weight, and after marriage, I did gain weight.
Okay.
A lot of going out, a lot of dinners,
Yeah.
and a new life happens.
Yeah.
You get overjoyed over, it happened.
Yeah.
So
and as one is also getting older,
Yeah.
one also metabolism is slowing down.
True.
And, you tend to gain some weight. Got it.
So and then then I just, that time I would just do anything to get things to, perfect. I was aiming for that perfectness because you were supposed to have kids before you turn 30.
Yeah.
You can't have, if you're having kids after 30, then, it's, I was taught and I was grown looking at people when, before, after 30, you're done. You should be done with kids before you're 30. That's what, I looked up growing. So it was pretty hard. So, and then I went on an intense weight loss. But even then, I realized I hadn't like my weight, my in the weight scale was down. Whatever the weight I wanted to reduce, I reduced. But then I wouldn't say that I really did had a fat loss. I was People would look at me as, yeah, you did lose weight. That was the thing. That was the thing they would.
But was it healthy? I mean, in the sense, looks like you got into this because to fix a
Yeah, I wanted to fix.
So
because
was it helping?
It was not, because when I went back after, I took about 7 to 8 months to lose weight, because I don't believe, it's not my type to do an instant thing.
Yeah.
Instant weight loss, it's not my type. So I took some time, 7 to 8 months to reduce weight, and I went back, and they said I was still infertile and I was not ready to have a baby. I mean, I was not qualified to have a baby. Let's put it that way.
So yeah, got that loud and clear. And so you got into that, and I mean you've got kids now, and
Right.
all, I guess, all worked out in some way. And then what happened? At what point? It seems like you went down this journey, but you hit a huge low
Yes.
at some point.
Because
Talk about that, and
sorry.
what does that waking up moment look like, and what did you do after that?
So in 2008 was all this diagnosis happened. In 2009, I had infertility plans going on, and I delivered my first baby. And after that, I just didn't take care of myself. I felt that, right, it is. I was taught, and all those heritage and culture comes to you, and you have your first baby, and it was not an easy ride. You didn't get it easy. I was constantly reminded, okay, this is, you didn't.
Your
this is
job
not
is done.
Yeah,
Your job is done.
This was not an easy ride. So my job is to be a full-time mom. To overdo the most things, and I just didn't bother to take care of me at all. I forgot about my activeness. I forgot how fun I used to be. It was just about the baby all the time.
And that happens to,
I think, all the moms. All the moms. No matter you have infertility, no matter you're a working mom, no matter you're a housewife, that is just the mom. That is just, and no matter if you're Indian or any race, doesn't matter. I think it's just the woman thing. And it's the first baby, so the attention goes there. And then the second, when we wanted to have another baby and things didn't work out, and the weight loss didn't work out too. I did try to lose weight, but again, the weight loss didn't help. And then we did another infertility plans, and then a lot of medications on my body, and zero activity, because I was just focusing on how to be perfect.
No, that's
how to have a normal life, just like everyone else.
Yeah, that's something important that you're sharing here, right? Because when we're talking about wellness and fitness, it's just not about physicality. There's a lot of association with how you feel and your self-worth.
Yes.
And what you're saying is so it's gold, because I think that is something a lot of women go through. Right?
And I feel like, women don't talk about it much. I didn't talk about it too. I didn't want to talk about it because I didn't want to feel like, I didn't want people to look down at me.
Yeah, got it. No, loud and clear. And like you said, you were trying to fit into some kind of a ideal of perfection.
Right.
And in the process, you were damaging yourself.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely, yes.
It was all about the kids, and you became a secondary
Yes.
in the process.
There was no like I didn't exist.
You didn't exist.
I didn't exist. It was a very typical woman thing, maybe.
That must have been tough on you.
It was. It was. But I'm happy I'm done with that.
So how did you get to that?
Okay, let's see. 2000, and after my second one was born, I did that was the first thing, like, after she was born, I was like, I wanted to get back into being active. I'm not gonna let myself get bigger and bigger. And because that time after the second baby, I was getting bigger. And I was always like a chubby kid as a kid, and then first baby, second baby, I was getting, and I didn't want to be too big. So I thought, okay, let me, instead of going and hitting the gym just like I always did, I thought I'll take something different. And Zumba was a hit at that time. It was brand new. It was a new company and new songs that, you don't know what it meant, because it was all like Colombian songs and stuff. So it was a mixture of variety. So I wanted to try it. And then as a kid, I was a Bharatanatyam dancer.
I didn't know about
back
that. So I didn't know that side of you.
I think that's like most of the South Indians. If you're a South Indian, you have to be a Bharatanatyam dancer. That was.
I think more Chennai people.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't see that in Bangalore.
No. I don't. I think yes. It's more of, if you're in Chennai, you have to be a Carnatic singer or a dancer or a classical dancer. You can't. There's no way getting out of there. So. Yeah.
So you started Zumba, but prior to that, you seem to have hit some kind of a low, right? So what got you to? What did you do to pull yourself out so that you could go and, because end of the day there are resources available around, right? It's like Zumba is there, aerobics is there. There are all kinds of activities there. You can run, you can bicycle, but for someone personally to realize that and take action.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about that. You seem to have hit a low and then you pulled yourself out. How did you do that?
That's a good one. Actually, I was on a very low when I went to Zumba. And then this stamina was also getting me reminded that, I was not being active at all. After having the second baby, she was like, I think 9 months old. And I still remember that night when I was just too depressed. I was just too depressed. And then I was like, okay, I was just waiting for my husband to come home. I was cooking, and then it was time, and he hit home, and I didn't talk to him. No conversation. He just did his routine stuff, and then I put the kids to bed, and I just took off.
Like, you were so upset.
I just took off, and I wouldn't recommend to anyone.
Yeah, of course.
Because,
but I think the point is that you were feeling, you had hit a low, right? You had hit a low, and sometimes when you hit a low, you don't know what to do, right? And you do all kind of erratic stuff. I mean, it happens to all of us, right?
Yeah. I just took off. I left my phone at home, and I didn't take anything with me. I just took my car keys and I left. And then when I went down to the garage, I didn't know where to go. So I just went to a HEB parking lot, and I broke down. I just cried and cried and cried so loud, and sitting inside my car, like I just threw it off, threw myself down, like, this is just not me. The 8 years of the struggle, and it was worth it. I would not replace anything for my kids. They are still the best things that's ever happened to us, like me and my husband. But are we losing ourselves, trying to gain something? That shouldn't be a thing, right? When you gain something, it should make you feel happy.
Yeah.
But I felt like, I was just losing myself and I just cried the hell out of. It was loud, and gosh, that night was a changer. And I said, I am done of crying. I'm done with getting mad at myself, and I was throwing the anger on other people too. I would say like very bad stuff, and I have said very bad stuff, especially to my dad. We were always on that process of working our relationship, and it was bad. It was bad, and I was like, where is that fun part? Where was I? Where did that part go? And I was tired of being perfect. I wanted that in one part of my life to be okay. You got married before you hit 25, and before I hit 30, just like everyone wanted, I had my kids. But where am I?
Yeah. Oh,
where am I in that?
That's gold, because that's where a lot of us get stuck, trying to be perfect, trying to get fit into an ideal. So you got to this point. Then what happened? How did you?
Then that night I was like, I'm not going to cry anymore. I'm done getting angry. I'm done being angry at myself. When I look in the mirror, I want to see that, hey, I want to say hi to me. I haven't said that for so long. I felt like, I felt like whenever I look in the mirror, I'm like, I'm just going to get there something. What is next to the mirror? I didn't have a chance to look at myself and say, okay, I'm all right. No. So it was like that. But then I just promised myself, like, no more crying, no more being angry, and get back yourself.
So how did you realize that? I mean, did you read some book, or did somebody give you some advice, or just self-realization?
I think it was just because I was just losing it. I was not being I felt like, the anger and the crying, I was done. I was just done.
Got it.
And I'm like, I don't want to do that no more. Because I was hurting people, like not physically, but with words.
It takes a lot of courage to admit that and to share that. And there's this quote that says that the truth will first piss you off, but it sets you free.
Yeah.
And I think in your case, that's what happened. It was realization of certain truths, and that you could embrace it, and it set you free. And then, so you then started the whole fitness journey.
And then the next day I went to Zumba, and I still remember the evening. The instructor was like, "Are you okay?" Right after the class was done, and when we were preparing to leave, she just stopped me and she asked, "Hey, are you okay?" And the first thing was, did she see me crying in the HEB parking lot? Like, okay, yes, I am okay. And then she goes, "You just burned the floor tonight. What happened to you? Like, you were like full on." And I'm like, that was just like a plus. If she hadn't noticed it, maybe, who knows, I would have gone back to my previous crying life. Getting the aggression on others. And just the regular, if she hadn't noticed that. But that was a huge, she didn't even, that was the first thing she talked to me. She was an instructor. She just came and did her job, but she didn't have to do that. She noticed.
That's a nice, again, another gold I hear there, because when we see people who are doing well or who are in a journey to get better, we're all so caught up in our own little worlds. But maybe that lady, something, she must have done that, a small gesture, but
very
it made a huge
small,
difference.
And then it was just huge to me. Maybe she doesn't even remember that. I don't think she's not going to remember everything she talks to her students, but then it was a huge impact on me. And I was like, that's it. I am setting the floor on fire every single day.
and fast forward, you're now an instructor.
Yes.
And you've been at this for how many years now?
It's going to be 2 years now.
2 years now.
Yes. And first I was just like, after getting the license, it was very, that happened, even after getting the license, I was still not sure about putting myself in the front. It takes a lot of courage to teach, because you have to be the person, like, somebody is looking up to.
Yeah.
You can't just go in there, move hands and legs, and expect people to do just like the way you want them to do. No, that is not what it is. That was not what it was. So even after getting the license, I was like, should I? Should I not? Should I? Should I not? And then all that happened. We moved to Houston. Hubby had a change of job, and I was glad because I was from Houston. So I thought it was very it would help my kids bond with my parents, because I know they were always on a bond, but it was more like, and I was happy that we moved to Houston, and we moved to Woodlands, and then I met this wonderful group. And the first thing I did was like to find a Zumba class. The first thing, as soon as I know, I was like, from Dallas, I was doing so many search, and then I knew I'm getting an apartment close by. What is the Zumba place? So
give us a little sense of, for those people who are listening to this and may not know exactly what is Zumba exactly.
Okay.
And talk a little bit about what is Zumba and what are you seeing the benefits of it, and give a sense of that.
Zumba is basically mixed variety of dances, and we do cumbia, salsa, reggaeton, hip hop, and these days it's just been a mix of cultures, and it's fun. Like, you don't have to be perfect. That's what I liked about Zumba, because nobody cares.
Beautiful.
Yeah, they have huge mirrors when you enter a Zumba studio. They have mirrors, but then people didn't know. I myself didn't know. I was like, why would they have mirror? I don't want to look at myself dance. But the thing is, as an instructor, I learned the mirror is for the instructor. For us to look at you guys, the dancers, how they are performing, not for the dancers to look at themselves. We had to watch them through the mirror, because like when we show our movements, we have to make sure we are not, just dancing. We have to make sure it's going in the right way. People are getting the tone of it. And you have to smile. And if you're not gonna smile, they're not gonna smile.
So it's a nice.
It's a fun way, and energy packed, very energy packed, and you don't need to be like a dancer. You can be immature and just come and when we move right, you move left. Who cares? Like, as far as you're getting your calories burned.
Yeah.
That's all matters. And as instructors, we do a lot of mistakes too. And the fun part is, like, the dancers behind, they will know, the experienced ones who have been with us for a very long time, they would know. You messed up, and then they will still do the right way, and your hands will be left, and it's supposed to be right. It's just super fun. It's okay to be not okay.
And it seems like it's making you very happy too.
Yes. And then I
almost see you're radiating with happiness just speaking about it.
I got very good friends. I made very, very real friends through Zumba. From the instructor. If she hadn't, who I just started doing Zumba with, if she hadn't trusted in me, she wouldn't given me a chance to, in her studio to be teaching. If she trusted me, and it was just a funny thing. Not a funny thing, like not a funny thing. I wouldn't say a funny thing. It was just very accidental. That time, I was just getting prepared to go to the class. She had a very something that very bad happened to her that day. She was going through something, and she had to go home. But so when I walked in, she just gave me her iPod and said, "Lavanya, can you teach tonight? I have to go home because this and this had happened." I was like, "Teach? Are you kidding me?" And she's like, "Yes, you got this." I trust you. That's all she said. And she left because she had something going on. So I entered the class and there was, people there. Okay, ready, guys? They're like, what? Like, I'm going to teach tonight. And it was just fun because they made fun of me and we had fun. It was not like a strict, you, you don't have to you don't have to prove yourself to no one there.
Yeah.
Like, they had fun, I had fun, so that's all it.
That's terrific.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And when did running enter your life?
Mystic Milers, my favorite part. One, one of the instructors asked me one time, "Hey, you have to pick. Like, you have to pick. You can't just do running and Zumba. Like, you have to pick. Who's your favorite, running or Zumba? You have to pick." And I just said, "Oh, it's like you're asking. It's like my eyes. I need them both." So she was like, okay. She didn't say nothing. She just gave a smile at me. Okay, now I get you. I need my both eyes. I need them both. It's like that's a part of me now.
Yeah. So your running started with when we started Mystic Milers. Is that the first time you started running?
Yes, that was the first time I started running, and the reason for to pick running for a person who's never been a runner was one time after I was picking my kids up from school, and we come home. We have that after school talk, right? We all have that, and then I asked, "Hey, what are you guys? What did you guys learn today?" And then they would be like, blah, 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 blah. And this was like our everyday conversation, how was school? That was the basic conversation and all that. And one day, my kid asked me back, "Mom, how was your?" I mean, they would always ask me, "How was your day?" Like one day, he asked me, "Did you do anything new?" So if it was the old Lavanya, I would have been angry. I would have been like, what the heck? I mean, how could he ask me? I would have been literally angry.
Mm-hmm.
But then I sat back and then I thought, you know what? Yeah, he's right. I'm not learning anything new. I'm just doing, Zumba was there.
You settled in.
Yes. I felt the more calmer side of me. I was like, Zumba was there, but what is something else that I can do and I want to explore? And then I get an email from Santosh about Mystic Milers, and it was a presentation. I still remember in May, and that was the birthday week of mine.
Okay.
That weekend was my birthday, and I had gone to my parents' house to celebrate and all that stuff, and I missed the presentation. I missed it. I had emailed you back saying that I'm going to be there for the presentation and all that. And then I had missed. And when I was like, oh my God, how do I even get back to you about asking, how can I? And then I get another email that if you're still interested in running, come join us on Saturdays around this and this time, 6:30, right? It was? Yeah, 6:30. And then I'm like, okay. Perfect. Then I'm gonna go. Then I come with with all this, thinking oh my God, how is it gonna be? Are they can I even run? Or I thought literally I'm gonna run and fall down and break my teeth. That's what I thought. Then I get out of my car. I had to sign the waiver form. What is this waiver form for? What if
to absolve us of any responsibilities of getting people
injured. I didn't know that. I just signed it. And then I hit the parking lot and I see a huge crowd, and they were all older than me. I was like, okay, can I go back or should I get down from the car? So, and okay, let's do it. Let's just do it. Something new. That was in my mind. Okay, I got on. I met this very nice person called Sudarshan Arunachalam, and he welcomed me and he introduced me to you. And he said, the first thing he said, are you sure you want to carry this big water bottle? Because I came with a huge water bottle. And I said, yes, because I don't think, and he said, we're just going to do a mile. And, you don't need that. Okay, so I go and put the thing back, and I was like, I don't need water. What if, like, I'm so thirsty, dying out there on the road and stuff, all that immature thoughts. And okay, whatever, like, let's just do it. And and then I was like looking at everyone, like, everyone seemed to know what they were doing except me. I felt like that because everybody was talking about marathons, or how they were talking about their running experience and how long they have been running. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm a dancer, and that's why I went to Zumba. And what is this, like, what is this running thing, like, and I didn't even know a half marathon existed.
Yeah.
I didn't even know.
Yeah, and you've progressed so well in the last
Thank
two and
you.
a half years, right? And
Thank you.
Last year, you also finished the first full marathon.
Yes.
And running a full marathon for anyone is a big achievement. And so I want to speak a little, spend some time on your running journey.
Okay.
So from someone who's never run,
Yes.
and in my experience, no matter whatever you've done in your fitness, running is a completely different animal.
Yes, it was. Yes.
It tests your entire overall fitness.
Mm-hmm.
You can't compensate,
Mm-hmm.
and you've progressed so well. So talk a little bit about what are the some of the challenges you had to deal with as you were progressing from 5K, then you did a half marathon, and then you went on to finish a full marathon. Talk a little bit about what you had to deal with and what you learned.
So starting the Mystic Milers together, when we began, the best part was right from when we began the journey of Mystic Milers, they introduced us to sign up for something, sign up for a race, not something, sorry, sign up for a race.
Like a
goal. So they set a goal, and I like that because if I didn't have a goal, maybe I wouldn't showed up after 2-3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I would have been walking or just slow progress, but they made me sign up for a goal. So I have to show what I'm capable of, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's how it was. And Santosh made I got the presentation from you in a digital way. So I was looking at it, and then I would work out on the plans that you gave me. Yeah, okay, you have for a 10K. I signed up for a 10K, by the way. For the Houston, for a Houston thing, I signed up for a 10K. That was I thought, like, I'll just do a 10K, like, because I didn't know anything about half marathon at that time. And I was like doing 1 mile. Everything was so new. It was like a baby taking its steps, like little by little, like, how the baby like goes a little bit and then tries to balance. And I was and you were telling, and you would train us in the trials, when you said, hey, when you see a uphill, if you don't want to run, like, walk it fast. So I took that advice. I would walk fast. And then there was another runner who said, when you go uphill, do not bend, put your back straight. Spine up and chin up is what I was told. So I would follow that. So it was just, how when a baby like tries to walk and you're behind the baby, but you don't want to hold the baby because you don't want to make the baby feel like, you don't want to disappoint him or her. You want to give them confidence. Just like when you learn how to bike, your dad, as a kid, dad or mom are right behind you, but then you want to do your work. So that's how I felt in Mystic Milers. I felt that all the runners who are experienced were behind me, and they were watching me making the progress.
Yeah. And any early mistakes you made that?
Yeah, I used to shake a lot. I used to run like that.
True, I remember that. Yeah.
And you corrected me. You're like, Lavanya, it's not a Zumba. Don't do Zumba in running. And then it began.
No, that's a good point actually, and for listeners who are viewers who are seeing this, I think one fundamental change you made was in the running technique itself, right? And what you're referring to, you were expending a lot more energy,
Yes,
like
yes,
by moving very vigorously.
yes.
And I've seen in the last 1 year or so, your running is so much smoother. You look so relaxed,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's a
I
good
was
takeaway.
constantly taught when the runners, experienced runners, the way I looked at them, they were like the guardian angels who would, like, look at me and tell me, you can do this, like, you got this. And the mindset was, they're gonna look at me and tell me, oh, come on, run faster. That's what I was thinking, like, come on, run, because I've never ran in my life. I've never been on a race. So when I looked at a runner, I thought it was just about running fast. It was just about getting there and getting to the finish line, because I never thought, and then later on, I just realized it's just I was having fun. It was like a kid explore, just gone in the field,
Yeah.
in the empty field. Like, I felt and sometimes when I run, like on the trails or somewhere, I feel like a heroine, like, or just like, just myself, just me, and then, just running slow or fast, just on my own, but I wouldn't be what I am without the um, experienced runners and mystic milers. All credit goes to
just
them.
calling out to us. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt, but that was another good point you called out, right? Which is one is of course the form. The other was trying to run too fast, right?
Yes.
You're absolutely right that most people, when they think of running, they think running is sprinting.
Yes.
That's for non-runners, I'm
Yes.
saying.
Yes, definitely.
And that stops a lot of people getting into running.
Right.
But running is a natural form of movement for human beings, and we just have to learn or unlearn
Right.
to get back to running naturally, which we were doing as kids.
Yes.
And I've seen that with you, right? And you made a valid point, because we've seen even in Mystic Milers, a lot of people initially they try to run too fast, and it also leads to injury.
Yeah.
And so that's another great.
And I was very conscious about not getting injured, because I was doing Zumba.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to get it. So I was always setting my mindset was like, take it easy.
Yeah.
And but then I still want that pace, or I wanted to improve my speed. So I still remember, after every single run, I would text you, right? How do I run fast?
Yes. There was obsession.
Give me tips to run fast. You remember?
Yeah.
And every single text back was, do not work on your speed.
Or rather, wait till you build the base and then.
Yes, you would always, Santosh would always mention, you can't just, work on, you have to work on it.
Yeah.
It's not you can just run fast and, lose energy. Yeah, Santosh would always say, work on it.
Yeah.
Build the fast pace, like, build it. Just don't it's not a day's event. You have to something.
It's a journey.
It's a journey. Yeah.
And well,
and I stopped complaining. It took me some time.
Yeah.
It took me some time. I think I would till I did my half marathon. That was 5 months after. For 5 months of training. 5 months of training till I hit the half marathon. I would text him every single day about how to run fast.
And then you finish the full marathon, right? And running a full marathon for any in a running journey is, I personally think, is a huge milestone, because it just opens a whole realm of possibility. It also makes you believe that you can do more than what you ever imagined. So tell us about your first marathon. 26.2.
Very interesting. I was very nervous that morning, because I felt I felt that, again, I was concentrating on the speed, and right. So I was telling myself, I don't think I'm gonna, run at my pace. I don't think I'm gonna be a slow. I'm gonna finish it. That was there. That was in my mind. I'm gonna finish it, but I'm gonna be slow. That's what that is all was going on that morning. And I still remember Santosh was telling me, "Hey, you need to smile," like, because I was standing like this right before the race started. I was like this, sad face, very nervous, and but I had a blast on my half marathon. I had fun. I had a super good time there. Even though it was my first half marathon, I don't know, the full marathon was it changes you.
Hmm.
It
It's a huge.
it's a huge
It's
change.
not 2x of a half marathon. It's a completely different realm,
Yes,
right? When you
yeah.
cross the 20-mile mark, you're getting into a different zone with regards to what your body is doing.
Yeah, and during that training, I would ask weirdest things like, hey, how can what should I eat? Like and I would ask an experienced runner who had like 10, 12 years of experience, like Santosh and Araj, and I would be texting them, hey, what did you eat? Like, during your first match, and I would be so surprised that they would text me back, like, with a very positive vibe. Just do what your body suits you, or something, like, work on many things before the marathon starts. Try eating an apple, go for a run. Try drinking coffee, go for a run, like, or try eating just a waffle, go for a.
Mhm.
So that was the and if I was like, when I sit back, and some days when I think, what, there are so many people in this world who think they know everything, and the way they act to you when you ask them something, they would, there are some people that I've dealt with, like, they would look down on you, like, what, you don't even know this, like. But I've never seen that on in a runner. The
Mhm.
runner are the most modest people, and they're very humble people that I've met. I've never seen a non-humble runner.
Yeah, I agree. I think the running community, no
Yeah.
matter how, even if you met, elite Kipchoge,
Yeah.
elite run, I don't think there's going to be any sense of arrogance or because
Yes.
when you get to the start line, no matter how accomplished runner you are,
Hmm.
when you get to the start line, you're at ground zero,
Right.
and that teaches you so much about humility. And
Yeah.
there, you can't be on an ego trip as a runner because if you finished fast in the last marathon,
Yeah.
the next marathon is not going to be the same.
True.
So so as runners,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. True.
There's no room for ego.
Yeah, so they all texted me back, and saying that I would ask another experienced runner, hey, can you run with me in the morning, because I'm going to do 18 miles today, but I need someone to push me for the first 9 miles, or so. And then she would reply to me saying that, yeah, let's do it.
Hmm.
There was never like a point, oh, you know what, and this person is a, she's a very busy person, and she's a multitasker. She's been in Run Yogi. Her name is Radhika. She would literally come. She would have a very busy day. She's a black belter. Radhika, like, she is into every activity you can think of, but she still is there in the morning. I'm here for you for the first 9 miles, and then there are other runners. Okay, I can take care of like 3 4 miles with you, and then
Mhm.
it was like a very the community that I didn't want to lose. It was, everybody is motivating each other. There was no judgments, there was no gossips, there was no, oh, when you finish your running, people are talking behind you, oh, she's a bad run. There was never a gossip in Mystic Milers, and Mystic Milers is famous because it's very non-judgmental.
I
we
think that
don't
that's true with
we
most
don't judge.
running groups.
Yeah, we
That's
are only here to motivate. We don't judge, is what our motto, I guess. And it's just it was a life changing chapter in my life. A chapter that I don't want to end. I want the chapter to keep going. Like, I want to explore more with these good vibrations of people. Because, I mean, even though everyone has their own story at home, I feel like, when we meet, the first we just chat for 10 minutes, and then we start our running in the morning, right?
Yeah.
And those 10 minutes makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
Like, you enter the parking lot, you make a smile, and then you start, hey, how are you? And how many miles are you going to do? Who's running with who? You pick your partners. That's just like a kid who opens the door and goes out goes out to meet his friends just to have fun. That's it. This is an adult fun. It's just, and you're getting your workout done.
How was it to finish the full marathon after all this effort and training and all those long?
I just wanted to come finish it off because I was like tired. and when it hit, when I saw the 20 till 21, I was okay. And till 21 mile, I was okay. On 18 mile, my kids were there, my husband was there, so they were all cheering for me. I was okay. 21, I was okay. 22, I'm like, call the Uber, I want to go home. I am not moving one single leg of mine.
22?
22. Mm-hmm. And then there was this guy, poor guy. He was just there to volunteer to give out water and stuff. He said, you just have 4.2 miles to go. I'm like, hell no.
That happens all the time, right?
You can do this. I'm like, I am not doing it. I'm tired. And in the beginning, I kept telling myself, like, I'm gonna finish it, but my pace is slow. But then there were a bunch of people who were watching, right? Like all the audience, just like YouTube, the live audiences. There was this particular lady. It's just magical because she kept coming to every single mile that I was. It was just magical. Right from mile 11 to 18, or I think till 20, she was traveling with me. She would, she was not in the race, but she would run by the side. And she was like, you know what? You're doing a fantastic job.
So that gave you strength?
That gave me strength. That actually gave me, she said, till mile 10, I saw you back there. But, from 11 to 20, you have made a progress. So, don't lose this. Mm-hmm. I had this thought, like, who am I doing this for? That thing hit me, and I said, I don't want to go through the struggle. It was hurting everywhere. It was hurting everywhere. Nobody tells you that. When in the training, nobody tells
anybody
you.
who has done a marathon will relate to you with that. Mile 22, 23 are usually sometimes the most challenging, and
very
when
challenging.
You push through that, but you push through that and you finished. So congratulations.
Thank you. I didn't push through it alone. Mm-hmm. I had a fellow Mystic Miler. His name is Arij Tyagaraja, and I saw him on mile 22, and he saw me walking. He was like, why in the world are you walking? Mm-hmm. Aren't you supposed to be running? And I was like, yes, but then I don't want to. I said, I want to go home. I was crying. I started to cry because it was just, my feet were hurting, and I just wanted to go home. And he said, no, you signed up for this because you wanted to finish this. Mm-hmm. If you're not going to cross the finish line, you're never going to come back to this spot, so let's do it. And he literally holded my hands, and he came till the finish line. He just stepped aside, and he pushed me through that finish line. And then he said one point that made me go nuts. He said, I'm going to take you off from the Mystic Milers group. So
anything to get you to the finish line.
I was like, no, 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 I'm going. And then I just like picked it. And the last half mile, I think I just sprinted because I wanted to cross
You
the. I
sprinted.
sprinted.
There was energy
That
left.
was like I bite my teeth so hard. I still remember I just bited my teeth so hard when I was doing that, and then I just sprinted the last just the last half. And there was this he was helping another lady behind me, and she was like, let's do this together. And we just it was like an angel. I think he was my angel at that time.
So, well, we are. I thoroughly enjoyed this conversation.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing your life and thanks for sharing your journey. I hope folks who are listening to this can take away a few things back
Yeah,
as inspiration
absolutely.
and ideas to get back into a groove if you are in a funk, or just take on a growth mindset like Lavanya has been demonstrating. You want to move to the last part of our conversation, which is a
Rapid fire round.
she knows. I know she knows all the questions, I guess. So
I'm a huge fan of RunYogi Diaries because I feel like RunYogi Diaries is just not like it's not because I know Santosh and I'm bragging about his show, or he doesn't pay me for doing this, so
we didn't have any arrangement for this.
there's nothing. It's just like how a common person, how a regular person who can accomplish so much and they don't need credits for. We look up at celebrities who get paid for doing their jobs, and I mean they're just doing what the director says, or just any celebrity. They just don't achieve things just by themselves. They have a group of people working behind them, like to get to, because they need profit. But here the speakers of RunYogi Diaries, it's not about profit. It's not about, it's like they have their own backup people, but they don't, it's just for the personal what do you say, G? What do you say?
G came through. No, I think, yeah, you're right. I hear you. It's just people sharing their
Their
stories
stories,
for a larger
and
good.
it's a very impactful stories. And I am right from the beginning. I mean, I sit when I listen. I usually do my groceries, and then I listen on my headphones, and then I'm listening to the conversation when I'm picking up my kids from school, because I know I have some time, so I'm right before they come out of the door. I'm still listening to them, and then when I come home, I write down the important things the speakers say. Like there are some words that speakers would say out of their, just while they are talking, and I would write them down. I still write them down because I want to go back and look at them whenever on my down days. I want to go back and tell myself, hey, look, a simple person has made, achieved this and this, and he did it for no one. He didn't want to prove anything. He did it for them. And absolutely, like, that part was very impressive. That's why I love RunYogi Diaries. It's a part of me now. And if I don't listen to the conversation because I'm having a busy day, my kid would like, hey, did Santosh uncle posted this video, did you watch it? And I'm like, okay, no, that's still there, but I'll watch it. So I get a reminder. I have reminders that live reminders. So but then it's just it's an amazing channel.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate the support. And absolutely, and it's like, listeners, your feedbacks, your encouragement is what makes it worth it, right?
Right.
For me, it's like, even if there's one person who
Yeah.
can get inspired by, like, for example, this conversation,
Right.
if there's one person
Yeah, who can get inspired.
get inspired from your
Yeah.
story,
Yeah.
it's worth it.
True.
It's
Very
worth 2
true.
hours of our time.
True.
See. So, ready for the
Rapid fire? Yes.
All right. Okay. Maybe you've sent this already, but let me ask it anyway.
Okay.
What was the worst thing of running your first marathon?
Losing the toenail.
You didn't tell me that. Okay.
You lose it. I was just after the shower, like I was just relaxing, and then something happened. Like, what is happening down there? And then I just looked at and what? And I do you remember? I took a picture. I sent it to you. What is happening here? I lost a
And
toenail.
we don't add any of those details in the training schedule. These are things you discover for yourself.
I was so panicking. I called one of my fellow runner and I told her, "Hey, Raji, did you lose a toenail?" Because we were all training together, right? So I asked her, "Did you?" She said, "Yeah, I did." You didn't make. You, you didn't say nothing about it. She said, "It's okay. We can still run a marathon." Okay, let's do it.
All right, good one, good one. All right, next one. A favorite song you listen to that uplifts your spirit.
Okay, not a. It's a surprise. Like it's very surprising. People look at me like, oh, she's the cool girl, but the cool girl has. I listen to a lot of devotional songs.
Oh, I didn't know that too.
Yes, all my secrets are coming out now. Ah!
Any favorite one?
Yes, I listen to a lot of Shiva Stotram because people who don't know, it's a very devotional mantras that happens that takes place back in India that was returned by ancient people, and I felt that those words can. No, I didn't know. I still don't know what they mean, but it gives you motivation.
Mhm.
It lifts up the energy.
All right. Yeah.
For me. For me.
Lovely. What's your favorite junk food?
Gosh, it's hard.
Name your number one, the most favorite.
Cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger. All right. Okay.
Anytime for a cheeseburger. Me and my older one, we have competitions for eating the max cheeseburgers.
McDonald's, are you listening?
Okay.
Next one, ready?
Yeah.
What's your favorite running gadget?
Gadgets. Okay, for now, I think it's the watch.
Watch.
Yeah.
The
Apple
Apple
Watch.
Watch.
Yes.
Okay.
And RH made me buy that. It's still a good one.
All right. And Apple is not sponsoring this show. Right? All right. The last one. Ready for it?
I still have more. Okay.
More
Rapid fire. I thought like there was only 3.
5.
No, just kidding. Go on.
Last one.
Okay.
So, this is my favorite question I ask all my guests. If a movie were made of you, what genre and who would you like to play you?
I want to play myself. Like I want a movie to be made like a dancer and a runner. Why would I want to portray someone else?
Okay, so you play you.
I play me.
And what is your genre?
What is what?
Genre. What genre of movie?
I don't know. That's like a
drama or action?
No. Okay. I know what I want. I want like no dramas. Dramas
documentary?
are no. Those are like not the fun stuff. I want the cool like the masala type, the Bollywood masala type, and something that people would come and enjoy, not like go back home with a sad face.
Okay,
Like,
so
yeah.
so genre is Bollywood.
And then
And then you play you.
yes, I want to play me. That's the only chance. Who would want to cast me in the movie? So I want to be me.
Okay, good answer. Good answer. Nobody's ever said that in my show. Everyone has picked some other actor. So that's a unique one. You did well.
Thank you, Santosh. And I'm gonna say G now because it was very hard for me not to say that. It was just not my type. Anyways, it's been
and for
an
doing
honor.
so well, I'll give you that bottle of water. I don't have a gift hamper.
I do have this. Anyways, it was an honor. I was not sure if I wanted to do this because I felt this channel was for great people, like, who had accomplished so many things. But when you said you wanted to talk to somebody who was very immature to running, like, who begin
New to running.
yeah, new to running, and who had gone through a downfall and hit back on the track. So okay, I thought, okay, I'll give it a try, because I was even this morning, till even before I was driving, I was like, what am I what am I going to talk about, like. But then I think yeah, I think it was a great talk, and I felt that I have come out of a lot of things. I felt great. I feel like I've like talked so much. Thank you, Santosh.
Absolutely. No, welcome, Lavanya. Thanks for being a good sport here. Thanks a lot, and have a wonderful rest of the day. And let's go get signed up on the new another marathon.